Hi guys, it's me, Skylar Capri, and today we're talking about 5 Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale mistakes and how to avoid them. This is a continuation of my Bath & Body Works summer semi-annual sale prep series, and just a few more videos to go until we get to the sale, which is starting on June 15th. That said, if you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. We do all things body care on my channel, so if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's dive right on into the video. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and start with the 5 mistakes to avoid. These are all mistakes that I have personally made and things that I do not want to repeat. There are a couple of these, whether it relates to buying backups or buying ahead for certain seasons, that might not work necessarily for you, and that's totally okay. These are just my personal experiences and things that I thought I would share, as I have seen a couple comments over the SAS prep series that wanted me to address these. That said, let's go ahead and start with our first mistake, and that is buying out of FOMO. Buying because you saw a bunch of people loving it on social media, buying because you haven't seen it in a very long time. You didn't buy it, maybe you didn't try it then, and you're not really wanting to try it now, but everyone's talking about it. It hasn't been out in a while, so you end up buying it anyways. That is definitely something that I have done, and I'll quickly tell you about it. It was last year with Chocolate Amber. I really have nothing in common with Chocolate Amber when it comes to my scent preferences. You guys know I like florals, I like fruity fragrances, and I like certain seasonal fragrances. Chocolate Amber does not fit into any of those categories. I really just bought it because it was so different, and I want to say in my haul or my review, I was like, this is really different. I think it's gonna do like really nicely in the later seasons. But if you watch my fall project Use It Up for that year, which would have been last year, you will see that I dislike the fragrance more and more as we go on, because it's just not a fragrance for me, and it's definitely something for someone else. So my way to now avoid those FOMO buys, something that I have been really strict about when making my SAS wish list for this year, and something I'll be strict about in store, is that if I would not buy it at full price, so if I would not pay $18.95 for this scent, then I do not need to buy it. I really should only be buying fragrances that I absolutely love and adore, and these are my favorite, regardless if they, brought them out last week or, 10 years ago. Like, it should be solely based off the scent, not off because I saw someone on social media talking about how much they loved it, and that is definitely something I want to do a much better job about this year. A second mistake I have to avoid is buying too many of one category. Now, this has definitely happened with me in a year or two ago with my lotions and my body washes. I was like, I want to buy in sets. This is exactly what I want to do. I feel like I use them up relatively the same time. That was not at all the case. A couple of years ago, I had so many leftover lotions and like no body wash. Then I was trying to find body washes that kind of went with those fragrances, but since it wasn't SAS anymore, I was just kind of picking these random signature collection fragrances. Then all the seasonal stuff was coming out, and that didn't match anything. It was an entire mess. This is why I highly recommend doing an inventory of your collection, figuring out how many body washes, how many lotions or creams, how many fine fragrance mist you have, understanding the gaps in your collection or what you really need, as opposed to just automatically buying sets of fragrances because you always want something to have a pair, even if you really only use the body wash and you only use a little bit of lotion or a little bit of moisturizer. It can definitely add up, and then you're not going to be left with all of this leftover product that you have nothing to match with it or pair with it. The next mistake I have is buying too many backups. I have seen this time and time again. Now, I've definitely went back and forth about the Velvet Sugar backup that I bought last year. I'm happy that I have it because it's a good everyday fragrance, and I really don't get overly sick of it. Like, it's good year round, just a solid overall fragrance. It has a lot of components that I really like. That said, though, I have just finished off my full-size fine fragrance mist, and I have one Velvet Sugar still left in a full-size fine fragrance mist. I know myself, and I need a gap or a break before using that backup. Now, what happens though is that although I have that backup, Bath & Body Works is going to continue releasing releasing new product. So while that backup is sitting there, I might be interested in maybe a fall collection fragrance, maybe one of these SAS fragrances, and want to buy those and find fragrance mist and really use those. I still have the backup sitting though, and I'm someone that likes to use my oldest products first. That way nothing's going bad. I'm getting a bunch of good use out of it, and it's kind of cycling in my collection as I would like it to. So this definitely is a smaller case because it's only one backup, but if you buy 4 or 5 or 6 backups of a fragrance, and again, this isn't going to be for everyone. If you love that fragrance, it's your all-time favorite fragrance, you're buying it off Mercari, you're doing anything you can to get your hands on it, go ahead and buy as many backups as you want. But for those fragrances that you're just kind of iffy on, or maybe you're on like a project use it up or a low buy or no buy, or you just don't have the space, I think it is important to keep in mind that Bath & Body Works is going to continue to put out product regardless of how many backups you have. And I don't just want you to get to the point where you're like, oh, this is something that I don't really like, but I have 6 bottles of it and I can't buy anything else till I use the 6 bottles of it. That kind of gets to the point where fragrance isn't fun anymore. So I personally recommend not overbuying backups, whatever that means to you. Me though, I know now that I'm really good with just one set. I don't need to go ahead and buy the backup set. Now, the fourth mistake to avoid, again, this is going to be dependent just person to person, and this is going to be buying for different seasons. Now, some Bath & Body Works SAS products will work great for different seasons. I find that the Bath & Body Works Summer Semi-Annual Sale, that scent selection is usually perfect for the spring and the summer months. They might have 1 or 2 that I could see for the fall or the winter months, but really a lot of the fragrances to me are more everyday spring or summer. Understanding that and understanding that we're going into the rest of the year, I have definitely bought a fragrance in the past that I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect for like fall and winter. This is not a spring or a summer fragrance. But then I got to fall and winter, and Bath & Body Works were putting out their fall and winter seasonal collections, and I really wanted to use those instead. But I had this one that I pre-bought and wanted to use that one up first. So I didn't really get to end up enjoying more of those seasonal holiday fragrances because I had already pre-bought one back in the sale. Now also though, on the other side of this, there are some fragrances that I love pre-buying. Like at this sale, usually I'm not a big fan of the Bath & Body Works spring lineups. It just depends year to year. I definitely find myself a bigger fan of the fall and the winter releases. So the Country Chic fragrance that is in that backups selection, not backup selection, in that throwback selection for this year's semi-annual sale, that's definitely something that I would feel comfortable buying ahead and using it next spring. That's already probably something that I plan on doing anyways, so that to me makes sense. I know myself though that when it comes to these fall or winter fragrances, do not try to buy ahead for fall and winter. I'm always interested in using whatever Bath & Body Works is coming out with. And my last tip I have also has to do with fall, and that is to don't forget that fall is coming and it will be here very quickly. This really comes down to budgeting. If you're allotting yourself a certain amount of money to budget with for your fragrances for the rest of the year or the next couple of months, it can be super easy to get caught up in the hype of semi-annual sale. You buy all of this stuff, and then all the fall stuff comes out and you're like I really can't justify buying this, but maybe I would have preferred these scents, or maybe fall's my favorite season and I should have just waited, but I got caught up in the sale. Always keep in mind, I feel like this is a theme for like 3 of these mistakes. Bath & Body Works is going to continue putting out product regardless of how much you bought, and it can be tough to justify buying more, even though those may be fragrances that you like better when you have, 10, 15, 20, 25 body care items that you've already bought waiting to be used. But you guys, I hope this was helpful. If there are any other mistakes that you guys have in mind or mistakes that you have made and you'd like to share in the comments, I always look forward to reading those and responding to you guys. But that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye guys.